We all in our school district, the K through 2 teachers, went through the process of being trained in math recovery over the last few years. Everyone that went to the training came back really excited about the possibilities and the hope for student growth through this different lens. What happened though is that we all came back to our classrooms, and given the intense curriculum we have with investigations, we were left wondering, how do we fit this all in? So a lot of the math recovery stuff that we were so excited about got pushed to the side and just kind of left there sitting, because we needed someone to help facilitate that integration between the two programs.
Right. So last year we were fortunate enough to have Dina come to our district to kind of get started on this work. We had been talking about it for a while as a district, and talking about how we just felt like we needed some leadership and some support in incorporating the two, in incorporating investigations, which is like a beefy curriculum, with math recovery. So she joined us last year, and we had a couple teacher release days for a couple of us in each grade level to work on really diving into the investigations lessons and looking to see each unit as kind of a whole, and like what are the overarching goals and where do we want our kids to go by the end of each unit. And then we kind of built on the math recovery background that we would need to cover each unit, so what we would focus on. We started the work, mid-year last year, and so we broke it down by unit, and then we zoomed in even further and went lesson by lesson, and we started creating documents with Dina. So each lesson of investigations we looked at, we figured out how could we support this lesson with math recovery, or if it's kind of pushing the kids too far ahead, what could we do to replace that lesson with something that was really math recovery focused. And so we went through lesson by lesson in the main number sense units, and we really started reorganizing and restructuring each unit to provide those math recovery supports. So we added supports into the games, we added supports into different lessons, different warm-ups, and they have really seemed to help. So this year was kind of our first year going back and using a lot of it. We spent a lot of the second half of last year writing the document and kind of linking in resources into this document so that everyone in the district could access them. And we checked in with each other at grade level meetings from the whole district last year. So this year we started implementing them. So when we lesson plan, we go through together, we go through the document and the investigations unit at the same time, and we really look at what things did we change, double check to make sure the things that we've changed or added are still applicable and valuable at this time right now based on where the current kids are. And yeah, so we've been...
Yeah, and it's been nice because now that we're looking ahead at the units, we can see what do we need to put in place before we get there in order to help them be successful once they reach these different places in the unit and the different skills that they need. So it helps them feel supported, so when they come on a new concept that might have been tricky, they already have this background knowledge that they can draw on, or this skill set or a set of tools that we've integrated in. That has been another real benefit of the math recovery, is all of the different manipulatives and tools and dot cards and 10 frames that give kids those pictures of the numbers in their head, so that they really develop a strong number sense, because that is what they need in order to be successful as they go through math.
Mm-hmm. And specifically having Dina at a lot of, during us looking at all of the math recovery and investigations incorporating, having her there as a resource was super helpful, because on the spot, if we were thinking about certain kids we've had in the past having trouble with specific lessons, or a certain activity feeling either too too easy or too complex, she was able to kind of help us pull out what is the math of this, and then how can we address the math in a way that's appropriate for the kids in front of us at this time of the year. So I feel like having the resource there was really helpful.
Yeah, and her being the expert in the program was so helpful, because she could point us right to the lesson that would support what we were doing, whether it was in the green book, the white book, the red book, but she could definitely point out a specific spot in one of those books that we could then make a reference to, and every teacher could then go in and read the specifics of the lesson, but she knew where the exact perfect fit would be to support that lesson.
Yeah. Can you talk about the math recovery assessments that you had coming into the school year from first grade?
Sure. So at the end of first grade, Our kids were all assessed in using every math recovery assessment. So they had the numeral ID, they had forward backward number, they had done the addition and subtraction, the structuring. So we had so much information on our kids coming into 2nd grade. And because we've been trained, we spent time before the kids even got here at the end of August going through the assessments together and kind of looking at our class, or like our 2nd grade class as a whole, and seeing where are they really strong, what kind of gaps do they have, and so we were able to kind of preview a lot of the beginning work that we had done with Dina for Unit 1, and really think about which of the changes that we made are going to be really applicable, which ones do we think we can actually push a little bit further based on where they ended last year. And then at the beginning of this year, we reassessed kids, and we reassessed the full battery on any new kids, which was really helpful. And then we did like a cumulative screener on every single kid just to double check to make sure they hadn't lost any over the summer. And so the assessment process in the fall was a lot smoother and quicker than I feel like it has been in the past, and we have a lot more information on our kids.
I'm looking forward to continuing the work this year with her when she comes back, because I feel like this is like a working document. As we've gone through, we finished Unit 1 and we did make some changes or add extra supports, and we're finding that some things worked really well and some things we need a different approach to. So I'm excited to continue that work with her so we can fine tune the work that we've already done, as well as finish all the work we're doing with the number sense units.